ratings. Player ratings then, if this thing responds to what I'm telling it to do. So player ratings, I am in fact debuting the new graphics package for it. So I'm doing it very much like similar graphics to the preview. So you see we've got all this around here, but this time instead of the preview at the top, it is player ratings. You see what I mean? Good. So, good. We're going to go through and just see how they perform. So, first player is going to be, as we can see what the score was again there. First player is going to be David Marshall. So, he couldn't do much about James Chester's header or Abraham's equaliser, but he wasn't asked to make too many saves. Other than that, he was composed under high balls and was a reassuring figure. So he, are you ready for this? He's going to get a 6. Good, that wasn't it. Now, we're going to go for Todd Kane. It wasn't an easy task against Balassi because, you know, he's got all the pace and all that. But he came out on top with a very effective performance. Questions were asked of his defending, and he had the answers. A danger pressing forward too. People who I sit with, I'll put my face back on for this. People who I sit with do criticise him, saying, oh, he's very much like a Robertson. He's good going forward, but not very good coming back. Because for those people who don't know, Andy Robertson played for Hull City before he played for Liverpool. And it's definitely Klopp that's brought him on. Definitely. Because he's all-rounder now. Whereas when he was City, he was probably more 65-35 towards attacking. If you look at it that way, he was more of the wing-back, not the full-back. But obviously he can play probably both really well now. So that's always really, really good. But for Kane, I'm going to give him a 7. Next is Jordi Device. He played really well and continued his great form at the back. But then late in the first half, he got forced off with yet another injury. Got to hope that the calf injury isn't serious. Still waiting on something from Adkins, but let's hope it ain't too bad. But for Device, when he came off, that was our downfall, really. He didn't... Obviously, Mackenzie's a lot less experienced than Device is. Not that they're both very experienced, but, like, Device was getting a good run of form together, playing really, really well. Him and Burke, solid. He was one of the main people who was brought on by Elphick so much. And he's reaping the benefits of that now. We're reaping the benefits of that right now. But he's injured. And it was our downfall because after that, they went and scored. And then, obviously, then Tammy Abraham scored. So, but for Device, he played well, but obviously couldn't stay on. So that's why I'm rating him less than Kane. It's a 6.5. Now for Burke, a big test for him, but, you know, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on without Device, because those two have looked solid in recent weeks. It was made all the tougher when Device went off and he was the most senior. Yeah, wow, that's scary. Was he? Nah, I think it... I'm trying to think. Who was the most experienced defender on the pitch at that point? Was it... It has to be Kingsley, surely. But Burke hit that far behind him. So Burke, he had to then guide Mackenzie. And twice might have scored at the opposite end, but was unfortunate. And obviously Villa equalised and couldn't do anything about that. So he's going to get a 7 as well. And then for Kingsley, I'm going to give him the same treatment. Played well, continued his solid form at the back. Played well enough to see Adoma subdarely and ensure that El Ghazi's impact was only minimal. Suffered the odd laps, but it was still strong showing who, and he's making the role his own now. Now moving on into the midfield for the captain, Marcus Henriksen. Feisty contribution from the skipper, saw him booked, and he regularly got under the skin with work off the ball, attempted to give his side control, but it was not easy. So Henriksen, I'm going to give a 7. Stewart, he was voted man of the match by a lot of people, and he more than held his own in the opening half. He was very, very solid, physical, tough tackling, as we need him to be. So Stewart, it's an 8. Avandra got the goal, superb awareness to pull off the deep and then technique to volley City 2-0 up. And that summed up a classic performance. Rarely, if ever, gave the ball away. So he's getting a 7.5. Bowen, he was good again. His 10th goal in 9 games to open the scoring and provide his usual service when City were under pressure. Never afraid to shy away from defensive duties. He's getting a 7.5 as well. Grzycki, he played well again. Fantastic. Great assist for Avandro and came close to a goal of his own. He was always a threat to Villa, but he wasn't on the same level as Bowen, so he's only getting a 0.5 lower, so it's a 7. And Chris Martin, he's got bricks for feet. Missed a load of chances, and this game was crying. This game was crying out for a Fraser Campbell. It just was. Against Celtic and Chester, 2 people who aren't very fast. I wouldn't say not very fast, but Campbell is faster than 2 ex-Tigers coming up against another ex-Tiger, and Campbell with the fresher legs coming off the bench. He should have been brought on, man. Why? Why, Nigel? Why? Anyway, as for Martin, he's gonna get a 6. Now we're going to move on to the substitutes. So Robbie McKenzie obviously came on. McKenzie came on. It was the first sub for Device in the 44th minute. He got a chance earlier than he would have expected, really, but let no one down in a good contribution. So he is going to get a 7. Batty, I came on for Avandro. He played an advanced role and almost came up with an assist when he was setting up Martin, but obviously Martin didn't put it away because he's Chris Martin. So Batty's going to get a 6, and Lehigh, he came on in the 90th minute, so he is going to get no rating. But this game, it was crying, just screaming out for a Campbell. Campbell, the pace that he would have brought. Think of 2 players that we left on the bench there. You know, we left Milinkovic and Campbell. 2 very, very solid players. 2 people who could easily get underneath that Villa team. You know, Martin isn't suited for the Championship. The only reason I can think that he's giving in games, and I was talking about this to someone at football earlier, and he actually came up with this point. His name's Ryan, and he said the only reason I can think he's giving in game time is to get him fit enough. Because if you look at Martin, he's good at 2 things. He's good at winning penalties and dragging the defenders away. I've seen that, but he's not good at anything else. He's not good enough. And when you've got someone like Fraser Campbell, who went on such a good run before he got injured, sat there on the bench for 90 minutes, nah, Nigel, it don't register with me. And this game was crying out for that bit of pace, that bit of killer bite up front. And someone else we could have done with there as well, Milinkovic. David Milinkovic, we needed some pacey players. Look at the 2 of them who I've just pointed out there, Milinkovic and Campbell. Just look at them. And look at what they've got in their locker. Campbell, pace. Milinkovic, pace. Campbell, more pace. Milinkovic, strength. They're so good, and if you brought them on in the 75th minute, Adkins, we probably would have won that game. Because these two, against a tiring James Chester and a tiring Tommy Elphick, like, mate, these two are faster than both of them. And when these two are fresh off the bench, madness would have happened. We would have been in more times. We could have brought Campbell on for Martin, and then he seems to like taking Evandro off, and I think he would still have done that, but bring Milinkovic on for Evandro instead of Batty, because we've still got Henriksen and Stewart, two workhorses, two people who we've seen can keep going for ages, but chooses Batty. And then decides to bring Lehigh on in the last minute. He didn't need to make that sub at all. But, you know, we could have just kept going. We could have at least looked like we wanted a bit of intent. There has to be a reason that Adkins kept those two on the bench. There simply has to be a reason. Because it doesn't register. Why? Why would you do that? There has to be a reason. Whether it's like fitness and he wants to start them both against Blackburn, I don't know. But these two could have changed that game. They could have changed that game. With Campbell shooting as well. Did you see his strike against Sheffield Wednesday last week? Just hit it straight at the keeper. Keeper just moved out the way. Well, it was more of I think he's going that way, but he just hit it straight at him. But look at the power that he got on that, and getting in behind the touches that he did, flicking it over the defenders. Campbell could have changed that game. Milinkovic could have changed that game. But, you know, I digress. And it's weird, really, to be disappointed with a point against Villa. It really is. It is. I don't get it. Normally, if we were in the situation we were in October around this, I'd be absolutely delighted with the point against Villa. But now, I'm still a bit downbeat about it. But either way, we've still got a point and we're still up into 8th. So, 6 points off the playoffs. Derby County, we're coming for you. Are they even in the playoff places? I've got no clue. Shall I have a look? Who are in the playoff places, please? But whoever's in 6th, we're coming for you. We are on a good run. We've gone 10 games unbeaten, and we are going to just do it. Just absolutely work. We're going to just keep going at it. If I can get this thing to work. Nope. Alright then. EFL Championship table. Whereabouts are we? Whereabouts are we? So we're now sat in 8th. We are now 6 points off the playoffs. And it is Derby. So I was right. And so we've only got Bristol City ahead of us by 4 points. And then above Derby there's Borough, West Brom, Sheffield United in the playoffs. Then there's Norwich and Leeds, the top 2. So it's getting tighter. But Derby, we're coming for you! That's the end of player ratings. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. And, yeah, I will see you very, very soon. Adios.